What is up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the ever-charming Dr. Disaster. And do you guys remember this story here, which I covered from several months ago, where an open letter was written to Gabe Newell of Valve from a sitting US Senator, warning him that more intense scrutiny is coming his way if he doesn't take action against extremist content?
Just stay out of my way, or you'll pay. Listen to what I say.
This senator was spurred on by a report from the ADL, the Anti Defamation League, who had it out for Steam because they noted that some users had Pepe the Frog meme images in their profile, and Steam refused to ban people who used such images, so they deemed the platform unsafe. Fortunately, Gabe Newell seems to have taken this threat about this seriously.
How about I just go eat some hay? I can make things out of clay and lay by the bay. I just may. What do you say?
Alright, so keep this context in mind as I cover this story. The ADL has a hate boner for gamers because we are anti-censorship and we don't buy into their propaganda, their progressive nonsense. So, with that in mind, I'm sure a lot of you have heard about this terrible tragedy which took place where the two people featured at the bottom of this tweet here, who were diplomats from Israel, they were murdered by an absolute psychopath who thinks he's saving the world by hurting Jewish people. Now, normally at this point in one of my videos, I would add another funny movie clip or something to emphasize a point that I was trying to make, but I'm not going to joke too much about this. Instead, I will point out that signs indicate that the alleged killer in this situation appears to have been a big fan of Hasan Piker, the Twitch streamer, avowed communist who has recently been feuding with Asmongold. Really, he's just anti-gamer in about all ways. Anyhow, the killer, or alleged killer, is a big fan of Hasan who has said some terrible shit on stream, which appears to have helped radicalize this alleged shooter. Twitch has been steadfast in Hasan's corner for a long time, but in response to this whole situation, now the ADL has stepped up, and this is a clip of the head of the Anti Defamation League, and this is how he's talking about the situation.
But all of us need to call it out. I'm thinking about the New York Times doing a gauzy profile a few weeks ago of this gamer, Hasan Piker, who regularly employs awful genocidal rhetoric against Jewish people in the Jewish state.
Calling Hasan Piker a gamer, lumping him in with all of us, is an absolute joke. And as you can see here, I'm not the only one who thinks that the term gamer is wildly inappropriate to use in reference to Piker. The fact that he streams on Twitch does not make him a gamer, and he sure as hell doesn't represent us, but the ADL definitely wants to make the association.
Wait a minute, you gotta understand, man. I never even saw these assholes before.
Alright, me hearties, make sure you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and also, don't forget to follow me over on X, where I keep a list of games lousy with wokeness pinned to the account at all times for your reference. My handle on there is Dr. Disaster 1. Also, I've started uploading content to Rumble as well, so make sure that you follow Dr. Disaster on that platform. In any case, let's take a look at this Hasan Piker and ADL situation. Before I dive into the topic though, I'm using footage from Stellar Blade to lighten the mood a bit. Also, I want to say two things. First of all, I am extremely sorry that the two people lost their lives in this news story. It breaks my heart to think of all the years that were robbed from them, and I hope the piece of shit who did this gets punished by the courts to the furthest extent of the law. And also, I'm gonna say this, because I know there will be people who feel like talking about the Israeli and Palestinian conflict. I do not care about this conflict. I'm sorry that people are dying, but it is not my problem. Years ago, when I was a little boy, my uncle took me to a Major League Baseball game, and on the way back to our car from the stadium, we saw two people getting ready to fight, yelling at each other on the sidewalk, but my uncle rushed me past the conflict and ignored it, and when I asked about it later, he said, "That is someone else's misery. You are my responsibility." That always stuck with me, and that is how I feel about the situation with this Middle Eastern conflict as a U.S. citizen. I hope that people don't get hurt, but it is someone else's misery. I have other responsibilities. So, once more to reiterate, I don't have a side. I am on my country's side. With that said, let's talk about what all this means for gaming. As I said before, the ADL really has it out for Steam and for gamers in general. As Stricture here wrote on X, illustrating what he believes the ADL is trying to assert, he said, Elias Rodriguez killed them, therefore Hasan killed them, therefore gamers did this. Unfortunately, this is nothing new. The ADL has been going after gamers for years for no apparent reason other than enjoying a hobby. I myself have had a run-in with the hombre running their anti-gamer center, and then he includes an image of a post from the ADL where they talk about how we are a hive of hate and harassment as gamers. Honestly though, these people working at places like the ADL have so little testosterone that they just don't understand gamers. They don't understand how males interact. And really, what they want is to use any excuse they can to try to gain influence over how gamers communicate. For a long time, Hasan Piker has been called out for the absolutely over-the-top crap that he says. Gamers don't claim this dude, we disavow this shithead, he is a progressive, shit-lib, through and through, whose goal is simply to push his worldviews onto others. Just because he does it on Twitch does not mean that he is one of us, he does not represent us, and we absolutely cannot let people like the ADL associate the gaming community with what this bozo says. If you're not familiar with Hasan, here is a clip of something he said recently. I have to be careful about what I can show on YouTube. I will bleep out a few of his words just because I don't want his weird worldview to get me in trouble.
I think like this will never happen, but in a totally just world, any kind of, regardless of your background, any kind of fucking Zionist tendency should be treated in the same way as being a fucking rabid neo-Nazi. And you shouldn't even let someone be the fucking local dog catcher as Felix was posting if they've ever exhibited any sort of like positive feelings about the state of Israel. I'm so serious about this.
I'm super serial.
Now, after seeing that, ask yourself this. Does that sound like a gamer to you? Does that sound like the sort of thing that gamers talk about? Or is it somebody with some deeply weird and disturbed views? The thing is, the idiots on Twitch love this guy. He has said some really hardcore shit, way worse than what I showed, but for obvious reasons, I will not show it here. Anyhow, no matter how many terrorists this guy platforms, no matter how much violence he seems to call for, he doesn't really ever get into trouble on Twitch, but circling back around, I suspect that the rhetoric that the ADL head used in that clip that I showed, where he called Hasan a gamer, I'm certain that was very intentional. I am certain that the goal is to take more cracks at the likes of Steam and Gabe Newell. They don't want more violence over at the ADL, which is absolutely understandable, but what they've shown that they also don't want is for males to have a space online to vent and compete with each other. They hate that so many of us don't buy into their woke shit and that we are difficult to control. Therefore, they hate Steam and they want it gone. They will use this situation to associate Piker with gamers in general and then try to demonize and bully us into more censorship against things that threaten the progressive establishment that they represent. I strongly suggest we speak out against this crap and nip it in the bud. But I'm gonna leave it there. Drop your contempt for Hasan Piker and the ADL into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.